the clerk of the board, is also present, as is Megan Porter, our PIO. So I'm calling the meeting to order. And the first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Commissioner Menser. I'm guessing he's mouthing it.
You're muted, Commissioner.
There we go.
Got it.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's hard to do remotely, I have to say.
So is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
agenda for Tuesday, December 1st, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve today's December 1st, 2020 agenda. Any changes to the agenda at all? Additions? No. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. And the meeting minutes from November 24?
Move to approve board meeting minutes from November 24th, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the board meeting minutes from November 24th, 2020. Any corrections or changes? Nope. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Now we're at the point of the agenda for public comment. And we ask you to please wear a mask while in the boardroom and while speaking, and keep it on. Introduce yourself, including where you reside in the address where you reside in the county. Address the board, not staff. Please silence your cell phone if you haven't already. We don't respond to comments, but the county manager on an as-needed basis will follow up with specific items. Speakers are limited to a total of 3 minutes, and that cannot be donated to another person. We reserve the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for a good cause. Please be respectful. No comments that are lewd, offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion for a for-profit business. Any material that's provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act 42.56 of the RCW. Remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters wouldn't be appropriate either. We appreciate your cooperation. So I will call the people that are in the boardroom who have signed up. I'll call them up, and then we'll look to see who might be on Zoom or on conference call. The only person that has signed up is John Pettit.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is John Pettit, and today I thought maybe as a topic I better bring up has to do with certain boundaries and authority that's given. Now, believe it or not, there are 3 people who have legislative authority that are connected with the commissioner's office. It's 3 commissioners. There isn't anybody else that has legislative authority, and you cannot give away or assign your legislative authority to anybody else. Now, I'm bringing this up because one of the things I have a great concern about is I see there's hearings scheduled for this next week. And I can't find where the legislative authority ever actually approved the hearings. And I'll just use an example of how the hearings get approved. I know you're well aware of it because you've all been involved in it. It goes on the agenda, and the agenda, an example that was from November 10th was where there was a set of public hearing for a comprehensive plan docket. And the action that was made is Commissioner Menser moved to set a public hearing. It was seconded by Commissioner Edwards and voted unanimously to approve it. There's a process for making a public hearing. Now, I provided you with a couple of sheets of testimony, I should say a sheet of additional document here for you for testimony purpose. And I want it to be noted here that the very top of that is noted RCW 3640-060, which says the county legislative authority shall then publish a notice about a budget hearing. So I'm going to ask that you please provide which of you provided a notice about the upcoming public hearing on the 7th and 8th of December. I mean, you do have to have two weeks of consecutive weeks with notice printed in the paper. And if the county authority, legislative authority, did not approve or set the hearing, there's no hearing set. It wouldn't be legal. Now, I'm going to note this to you also. The regular meetings, as in the RCW, call you to have a regular meeting. That's what this Tuesday 2 o'clock meeting is. Well, and under your county code says the agenda items to be considered at the 2 p.m. are items which are considered routine of the board. That's setting public meetings example. These agenda items include, but are not necessarily limited to, agreements, leases, appointments, call for bids, award of bids, setting of public hearings, on and on. You can't set a public hearing at a different time. I would request that you provide me the evidence that you as county commissioners have actually set the public hearing coming up this next week. Because if you haven't, those hearings need to be canceled until you properly set them according to law. Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the boardroom, Romero?
Yes, we'd like to, they don't like to provide public testimony, sir.
They don't? Okay. And there anybody else on Zoom? Or this could be conference call?
No, let me touch base the phone.
Thank you.
Good afternoon for those members of the public who have joined us this afternoon via conference call. If you'd like to provide testimony before the Board of County Commissioners, please unmute yourselves, state your name, where you reside in the county. You have 3 minutes. None, sir.
All right. Public comment then is concluded. And we will move on to agenda item number 2, which is the county manager's update.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. I just have a follow-up to one of the public testimony you received last week, and that was from Mr. Terry Ballard, related to raising issues related to Ms. Carolina Mejia. At this point, I am not going to be responding to unfounded accusations of fraud, so I will just let it to rest. That particular issue is from the county's point of view, because Mr. Ballard has continued to come just about every week for the last 2 weeks, raising the same issues. And I don't think at this point I'm going to be following up with any response to that.
Thank you. And I just wish Commissioner-elect Mejia success in this position. That moves us on to agenda item number 3, which is consent items A through D. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would move to approve consent items 3A, B, C, and D.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve consent items A, B, C, and D. Any discussion on any of those items? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 4 is department items. The first one is Juvenile Court Parent Pay Program and Guardian Ad Litem Program, bad debt.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Robin Campbell, Assistant County Manager. And this afternoon, I am requesting that the board authorize the county auditor to write off bad debt that has accumulated in juvenile court and superior court. This is for the Parent Pay Program, which had been a program that was a fee on the parents of any juvenile who was incarcerated to pay an amount for the time when the juvenile was in one of the county facilities. and also the guardian ad litem program in Superior Court. The parent pay program has been discontinued, and the guardian ad litem program is continuing, but these debts have been, or the court has attempted to collect these debts over time and has been unsuccessful. So we are asking for your approval to write them off as allowed by state law and generally accepted accounting principles.
Thank you. Commissioners, are there any questions for Robin?
No,
Or
sir.
comments? Okay. And a motion, please.
Move to authorize the county auditor to write off the bad debt accounts from the juvenile court parent pay program for a total of $51,343.10, and the guardian ad litem program for a total of $15,260.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the county auditor to write off the bad debt accounts as stated. Any discussion on these items? For this motion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Thank you, Robin. Next is agenda item number 5, the South Sound Green Interlocal Agreement, 21 through 25. And we have Anne Marie Pierce, I believe. There you go. Hi, Anne. Will you introduce yourself and explain this to us, please?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Anne Marie Pierce, Education Outreach Specialist with Community Planning. And I'm here today to discuss with you the South Sound Green 5-year interlocal agreement. This upcoming 5-year interlocal agreement is replacing the current 5-year agreement, which will end at the end of this year. Thurston County has been supporting the South Sound Green program for nearly 20 years. And the other partners in this with us in this interlocal agreement include the cities of Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater, and Thurston County. This interlocal agreement brings efficiencies for all of the partners and helps support teachers and students in incorporating watershed education and also stormwater education and water quality education. And by supporting South Sound Green, this makes it possible for all teachers and students in unincorporated Thurston County that is served by South Sound Green to participate in the program. The county's portion of the interlocal agreement on an annual basis is $14,400, which is the same amount it has been for the last 5 years in the last agreement. And I also wanted just to note that in the past 5 years, so that would end this year, the South Sound Green program has served over 3,500 students that reside in unincorporated Thurston County, and they have assisted nearly 150 teachers that serve students in unincorporated Thurston County. And so, I'm sorry, I just also wanted to mention that the funding comes from the stormwater utility fees, and by supporting South Sound Green, this also helps the county meet requirements in the municipal stormwater permit for providing outreach and education to students. And then so today, we're just requesting that you would approve signing the contract of the interlocal agreement. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Edwards, anything?
No, sir.
Commissioner Menser?
Sounds like a win-win-win.
Yep. Thank you. And I have no questions either. Thank you for joining us, Anne Marie.
Thank you very
entertain a
much.
motion.
I move to approve the South Sound Green interlocal agreement with the cities of Lacey, Olympia, and Tumwater, and the Thurston Conservation District for $14,400 annually until December 31st, 2025, to provide professional services for teachers and students related to stormwater and watershed education.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the South Sound Green ILA for 2021 through 2020. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carried. Thank you. 5B is an ILA with the RCO, and we have Jennifer Davis with us.
Good afternoon, Jennifer Davis, Community Planning Manager with Community Planning and Economic Development. I'm here today to talk about, it's an IAA more acronyms. Interagency agreement, we call it when it's with the state, I think, in these circumstances. It's with the Recreation and Conservation Office to support the work of Thurston County staff on a project in the Chehalis Basin. So our staff in community planning were asked by the Office of the Chehalis Basin to participate on their local advisory committees they put together to help them with some decision-making and exploring of alternatives on a governor-directed project looking at flood control and aquatic species protection approaches in the Chehalis Basin. So the advisory committees for this project include technical and planning staff from our neighboring city and county jurisdictions, local tribes, state agencies, conservation districts, agriculture and environmental groups. Our staff has been attending committee meetings and providing our expertise and input. The interagency agreement was developed by RCO with input from our staff to fund our participation in these committees, and funding is capped at $28,000. So the draft IAA has been provided to you. It was reviewed and approved by our prosecuting attorney's office and RCO staff. And today staff is asking the board approve this IAA with RCO to be executed and signed by the director of CPED.
Okay. And this ILA is actually an IAA. I stand corrected. Thank you for that. Any comments or questions for Jennifer on this topic?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Jennifer, isn't this the same group that Commissioner Menser represents the board on?
Commissioner Menser is a representative to the Chehalis Basin Partnership, and maybe Commissioner Menser, you're better in a better place to explain your relation to this particular project, with it, which is the Chehalis board.
Yeah, it's quite a flow chart with Chehalis Basin related organizations. I represent the county on the Flood Authority and the Chehalis Basin Partnership, but there's an Office of Chehalis Basin and a Chehalis Basin board. And they're working on the larger strategy of the aquatic species restoration plan and the flood control, which a dam is one proposal. Now the governor, before any decisions are made, wants to kind of, basically the Quinault tribe did not feel that non-dam alternatives to flood control were fully explored. And the governor's office basically said, we're going to honor that and create these work groups and try to more fully explore what the alternatives, so that, you know, that there'd be a kind of a range of options and alternatives to be looked at. So that's the information that's being put together, and there's very tight timelines for it. They need to, I think, Jennifer, correct me, but they want a report to the legislature by March, I want to say, 1st of March.
I believe that's correct. The committees wrap up their work, I believe, in February. So it will be a set of recommendations coming out of the committees.
So it's kind of all hands on deck for the region, like get your information and data and your expertise on the table so that, you know, the alternatives can be explored, and then the legislature will have, you know, full information to make a good decision.
Does that answer your question, Commissioner Edwards?
That did. I was looking for a nod from the commissioner.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm very supportive. I think Thurston County has a lot of information that will be useful to this process and ultimately lead to a good decision for the region.
All right. Is there a motion?
Yes. I move to approve the interagency agreement with the Recreation and Conservation Office for the Chehalis Basin Local Advisory Committees and authorize the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development to execute the agreement.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the IAA with the Recreation and Conservation Office. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
6 is Emergency Services, the Federal Fiscal Year 2020 Management Performance Grant. And we have Kurt Harden with us.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Kurt Harden, Director of Emergency Services. I'm coming here before you to request that the board approve the Federal Fiscal Year 2020 Emergency Management Performance Grant, also known as EMPG, in the amount of $127,814, and authorize the Director of Emergency Services to sign the agreement as well as future amendments that do not exceed 10%. This is a recurring annual federal grant for the county, and the grant funds 1.15 FTEs in emergency management for public education, sheltering, both people and animal sheltering, unmet needs for disaster survivors, support for the Disaster Assistance Council. It also coordinates with public health, external affairs, mass care, housing and feeding, and Map Your Neighborhood programs. This position also leads the Disaster Assistance Response Team, also called DART, volunteer team, which is designed to provide staffing for the ECC, public notification, and public assistance during disasters. The grant requires a 50% county match, which is accomplished through the General Fund Budget Authority that is already in place for 2020 and proposed for 2021. No additional county funding is needed or required for this grant. Subject to your questions, I recommend approval of this grant.
Thank you, Kurt. Any questions or comments of Kurt
No, sir.
for this topic? Okay. Then is there a motion?
I move to approve federal fiscal year 2020 Emergency Management Performance Grant, FY20 EMPG, number E21-130 for the period of June 1, 2020 through August 31, 2021, for a total of $127,814, and authorize the Director of Emergency Services to sign the agreement, as well as future amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve the Emergency Management Performance Grant for fiscal year 2020. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. And now, Kurt, you have been directed to sign it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kurt.
Agenda item number 7, Public Health and Social Services, Emergency Solutions Grant, COVID contracts. And we've got Tom Webster joining us. Hello, Tom.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tom Webster, Manager of the Office of Housing and Homeless Prevention and Public Health and Social Services. So I'm here this afternoon to ask for your approval for 8 contracts using Emergency Solutions Grant COVID funding for a total amount of $2,577,286. The county has received a total grant under this ESGCV funds through the Department of Commerce totaling a little over $3.8 million. And these funds are must be used to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus among individuals and families who are homeless or receiving homeless assistance, and to support additional homeless assistance and homeless prevention activities to mitigate the impact of coronavirus. So the 8 contracts we're recommending for funding today are programs that we have largely funded since around April, beginning with other coronavirus resources we've received, including the Emergency Housing Grant and CARE CRF funding. Those funds have expired as of November. So this additional funding will allow for an additional 6 months or so of funding for these organizations to carry out their activities. So the 8 contracts we're requesting permission to award are for Community Action Council of Lewis, Mason, and Thurston County to provide rental assistance activities for $600,000. For Community Youth Services to support Rosie's Place for $116,610. To the City of Olympia to continue hygiene services for $73,588. For Family Support Center of South Sound for hotel vouchers for $343,248. Interfaith Works for their First Christian Emergency Shelter location for $425,750. Interfaith Works for their new shelter location at 3444 Martin Way for $795,095. Partners in Prevention Education for shelter-in-place activities for $119,740. $119,740, excuse me. And then Safe Place for hotel vouchers for $103,255. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Tom?
No, sir.
Nope. Okay. Is there a motion?
Move to approve 8 Emergency Solutions Grant COVID contracts for a total amount of $2,577,286 to agencies that are supporting vulnerable populations in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the contracts and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Emergency Solutions Grant COVID contracts. Any further discussion on these, on this motion? Nope.
No, sir.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
7B is amendment number 3 to the Lewis County grant, or contract rather, for the purchase of Nurse Family Partnership Health Services. And we've got Gretchen Toller. Hi, Gretchen.
Hi, good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Gretchen Toller. I'm the Maternal Child Health Nurse Family Partnership Manager, and I am here today seeking approval to amendment number 3 for our contract with Lewis County. This contract amount is for $309,822.25, and it provides funding for Thurston County Public Health and Social Services to deliver Nurse Family Partnership home visiting services to 50 families in Lewis County. And this amendment would extend our contract through December 31st of 2021.
Okay, any questions on this topic for Gretchen?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
I would just like to point out to the public that the reason we haven't had discussions on a lot of these issues is we've went over them numerous times. And Gretchen has heard me say this before, but when it comes to kids, they're our future. They're 30% of our population, but 100% of our future. And it doesn't matter where they live, they're all going to be participating in our future. And I think this is a good example of dedicating funding to protect that future. Thank you, Gretchen, for all you do.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So is there a motion, please?
Move to approve amendment number 3 to the Lewis County contract for the purchase of Nurse Family Partnership Health Services in the amount of $309,822.25 for 2021, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the amendment and future amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve amendment number 3 to the Lewis County contract for the purchase of Nurse Family Partnership Health Services. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Thank you, Gretchen.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item number 8 is Public Works resolution and call for sealed bids. Oh, we got Rick Thomas. Go ahead, Rick. Welcome.
Good afternoon, commissioners. We want to request your permission today to advertise and solicit for construction of the closed landfill gas flare system improvements to the Waste and Recovery Center, better known as the WARC. This project will upgrade the existing flare system to operate within regulatory guidelines for management of closed landfill gas emissions. The existing flare system is currently too large for the current gas output and has reached the end of its useful life. An assessment of the quality and quantity of the gas output was conducted, and a design was developed to upgrade the system to the appropriate size. The scope of the construction project includes procurement of skid-mounted flares and general construction of closed landfill gas flare system improvements, demolition, salvage, and disposal of the existing systems, and minor earthwork and fencing. This system will also be integrated into the supervisory control and data acquisition system for monitoring and data analysis. The estimated cost for the project is approximately $750,000 to $970,000 and will be paid from the solid waste tipping fees. The solicitation will be advertised in the Olympian and the Daily and the Seattle Daily Journal of Commerce newspapers and posted on the Builders Exchange website. The project works budgets the county capital facilities plan and is in alignment with the county strategic plan initiative number 8 to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community, and initiative number 9 to support environmental health and climate stabilization. And sorry, I forgot to introduce myself at the very beginning. Again, this is Rick Thomas from Public Works. And we would like to request that the board approve this resolution and call for sealed bids on this landfill gas flare system improvements project number 91075. Thank you.
Any questions for Rick?
Well, I'd like to just, one quick thing, sir, if I could.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rick, we've been working on this for about at least a couple of years that I know of, and I've continued to ask, is there any way that we can capture, I know it's too small of amount with our existing equipment to capture and benefit from that gas, but when we get done with this new system, is there any hope that for air quality perspectives, we're going to be able to at least capture or burn off to the benefit of the carbon footprint, if you will, when this is done?
Commissioner Edwards, we did have a specialty consultant review basically the condition of the existing gas as it is presently in the landfill, and they did an extensive research into the type of equipment that could be used to convert the gas into some sort of a cogeneration and potentially put back onto the electrical grid. Unfortunately, our landfill right now has such low volume, and the gas quality is so poor at this point that there literally is no equipment on the market or even in research and development right now that we could be using to be able to convert what's left in the landfill to provide any power.
Okay, thank you.
Anything, Commissioner Menzer?
Is that a good thing, though? I mean, on the flip side, is that a good thing that the landfill's not producing lower amounts of gas?
Commissioner Menzer, yes, it is. This will be the third downsizing of the flare system since it was converted to a closed landfill. Once the gas gets down to a lower level, and I forget the exact time period for that, but we would literally be at a point where we could put in a filtering system the next time that we need to deal with any sort of outgassing from the landfill. And that would literally be at a point where we're not even burning anything off. It's literally a filtering system at that point.
Okay.
Very good.
Just curious. Yes.
Did I cut you off?
No. I was just.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Ty.
I would move to approve the resolution and call for sealed bids for Thurston County Public Works closed landfill gas flare system improvements, CP number 91075.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve the call for sealed bids for Public Works flare system improvement. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, commissioners.
Number 9 on the agenda is the Sheriff's Office, and it's a sole source purchase from Lexipol. We have Under Sheriff Ray Brady. Hi, Ray.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ray Brady, Under Sheriff with the Thurston County Sheriff's Office, and we're here to request the board's approval to move forward with a sole source purchase of a program called Lexipol. And this program will allow us to move forward with updates of our policies and procedures manuals and to stay current and in line with those manuals and implemented the training associated for that. This project was approved by the ITC committee and has also been reviewed by the internal auditor for the auditor's office as far as this being a sole source purchase. So our request this afternoon is to be able to move forward on a sole source purchase of Lexipol, approximately, $35,386.52. And that will then in turn be reimbursed by the Washington State Risk Pool. At 80% of that amount will be paid for by the risk pool if the Sheriff's Office maintains 80% of its policies and completes 80% of the training that's required with that.
Very good. Any questions of the Undersheriff?
No, sir.
Nope. All right. A motion, please. You ready?
I move to approve the single source purchase from Lexipol in the amount of approximately $35,386.52, including tax, for a unified solution, content, policies, and training for the Sheriff's Office.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the sole source purchase from Lexipol for the Thurston County Sheriff's Office. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. 9B is also the Sheriff's Office and a single source purchase from Power DMS. Go ahead, Under Sheriff.
Correct. Ray Brady again with the Sheriff's Office. This is another sole source purchase request for a program called Power DMS. Power DMS works in conjunction with Lexipol to update our document management, our training management, and our accreditation management software. And this again is a single source or sole source purchase request in front of the board. This as well has been reviewed by the IT committee and has also been reviewed by the internal auditor for the auditor's office for a sole source purchase. The cost of this software is $9,826.24. And so we would request the board's permission to move forward with this sole source purchase.
Are there any questions of the Under Sheriff?
No, sir.
No? Okay. I have one.
Yes.
With this, Under Sheriff, is there reimbursement from the risk pool as well?
With this second program, Power DMS, there is not the reimbursement that goes along with that. But we definitely see the value in this program. This is really kind of the delivery tool that goes along with Lexipol and then interlinks with our training programs, including our field training program, which really makes sure that we have this information updated and accurate and understood by all members of our office, from the brand new deputies to our most seasoned. So this particular program does not have that reimbursement tied to it.
Well, I believe in it. I just was hoping there'd be some type of a money back, but that's fine. Okay. Oh, there's no, entertain a motion, please. We haven't done that yet.
Move to approve the single source purchase from Power DMS in the amount of approximately $9,826.24, including tax, for a policy management, accreditation, and training compliance platform.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the sole source purchase from Power DMS. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. Thank you, Under Sheriff.
Thank you for your time.
That takes us to agenda item number 10, where the commissioners report back on work sessions and assigned committees. Commissioner Edwards, I'll cover you, sir.
You know, I'm just going to keep it real short. We had a short week last week. Hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving get together. And water quality, sewage, sludge, and nitrogen in the forest were my topics for earlier that week. Thank you. That'll do it.
Commissioner Menzer.
Yeah, short week. There wasn't as many outside assignments as normal, but I guess I will report on the ongoing work of the subcommittee that I volunteered to serve related to the climate action plan. The plan will be presented to the commissioner soon, but then we have to sort of sketch out the strategy for implementation. So I've been working with folks from the different municipalities on that, and TRPC has been helping a lot in terms of working through a draft interlocal agreement with an attachment that will sort of lay out what we're going to try to accomplish in the first year, and then kind of create a structure for the ongoing from there. So I'm pretty excited about the work that's been done on that, and I think the community will be pleased to see the effort and commitment that's gone into the thinking behind phase 3. So that's to come. But
Thank you, sir. And aside from phone calls for various committee work and constituents, I had a 90-minute 90-minute EDC, Economic Development Council, end of the year board meeting. That was very interesting. But that was the extent of it, because it was a real quick 3 days. So I'm turning over now to County Manager Romero Chavez to inform us of our busy week coming up.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let me walk you through your combined schedule where at least 2 commissioners will be participating on the meeting. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. And I'm going to walk you through for the next 2 weeks, since the next week's Board of County Commissioners is canceled, and I will address that when we get to that date as to why. So here in just about 20 minutes, you have a series of public hearings, 3 in the afternoon. The first one is related for you to receive public testimony on a telecommunications franchise application submitted by Usbound Broadcast LLC. Following by a public hearing where you be providing public testimony on the interim emergency housing ordinance. That will be a renewal of the emergency housing ordinance that you have already approved. The third public hearing at 3 in the afternoon, you will be receiving public testimony related to the 2019 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, and that is related to the Community Development Block Grant as well as the home dollars. Moving on to Wednesday, December 2nd, at 9 in the morning, you have a follow-up to the Rural Accessory Dwelling Unit, ADUs, a public hearing. Also at 10, you will have a follow-up public hearing on the public hearing that you got last week related to the comprehensive plan update. And this is one of the 2 follow-up meetings that you have. The next one is on December 9th. At 11, from 11 to 11:30 tomorrow, December 2nd, you will have the opportunity to welcome new employees via Zoom. 1:30 in the afternoon, you have a follow-up briefing related to park projects. And at 2:30 in the afternoon tomorrow, December 2nd, you have a follow-up related to recycle asphalt public hearing. You have this afternoon. Sorry, I need to go back to today's meeting. At 5:30, you do have a public hearing related to the item, docket item CP11, which is the recycle asphalt. That's at 5:30 this afternoon. I omitted to mention that. Thursday, December 7th, you're participating from 8 to noon on the 2020 Regional Economic Forecast and Innovation Exposition. In the afternoon, December 3rd, at 1 in the afternoon, you have your regular Superior Court update. And at 2 in the afternoon, you have a briefing related to Budget Amendment number 6 for the 2020 budget. Nothing on your combined schedule on Friday, December 4th. Moving on to Monday, December 7th. At noon, you have your Washington State Association of Counties virtual assembly. And then we're moving into the budget public hearings on December 7th, on December 8th. On December 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon, you have a public hearing related to the law and justice part of the county business, which includes the clerk's office, the district court, prosecuting attorney's office, sheriff's office, coroner, superior, and juvenile court, as well as public defense and pretrial services. 4 in the afternoon on December 7th, you have public hearings on the 2021 budget, which includes the general government, assessor's office, auditor's office, board of county commissioner's office, treasurer's office, human resources, central services, and information technology. In the 6 in the afternoon, you have a public hearing which includes all the operating and capital elements of the entire budget. Moving on to December 8th, and then in the morning, you will convene back here you will be reviewing the agenda for December 15th. And December 15th is your last regular Board of County Commissioners meeting for the year. And that will be a packed agenda, as you can imagine. On Tuesday, December 8th at 1:30 in the afternoon, continue with the budget public hearings. And on December 8th, you have at 1:30, let me get to my notes. Public hearing related to transportation, environment, and land use, which includes public works, community planning, and economic development. At 4 in the afternoon on December 8th, you have public hearings related to health and human services, which includes public health and social services, as well as emergency services. And 6 in the afternoon on December 8th, you will have, the public will have another chance to comment in any aspects of the 2021 budget, which includes all the operating as well as the capital budgets. And on December 8th, you also have a public hearing related to the 2021-2026 capital improvement plan. That is that for December 8th. Wednesday, December 9th, at 9 in the morning, we'll convene back in this room or via Zoom, where you will have final budget deliberations based on the public testimony you have received in the last 2 days, December 7th, December 8th. Yeah, at noon on December 9th, you have a meeting with your appointed directors. And at 2 in the afternoon, December 9th, you have a follow-up briefing on the 2020, a follow-up briefing based on the public testimony you received on the 2020 comprehensive plan update. And then moving on to Thursday, December 10th, you continue with your final budget deliberations. And nothing on December 11th. Monday, December 14th, you have your regular Washington State Association virtual assembly. And then you come back here to have your quote unquote normal day on December 15th.
Perfect.
That's all I have for you. That was a long one.
Yeah, it was. Commissioners, any questions for Ramiro?
I do. Ramiro, am I to take from your comments that we will not have board meetings on the 22nd or 29th? You said it's the last of the year.
Yeah, that will be the 15th is the last of the year. So we'll be canceling this the board meeting on December 22nd, as well as then on, I believe, December 29th. Yeah.
And agenda settings will not occur those days, or they will?
No, the next regular meeting, they will convene. It will be January 5th, and that will be with the new elected Board of County Commissioners. And the first item on the agenda is how it will be the assignments in terms of for the 2020 year. Chairmanship, vice chair of the Board of County Commissioners, Board of Health, Transportation Benefit District, and then assignments to all the boards and commissions. And the only item on January 5th, first meeting, will be just to confirm the assignments and decisions that you have made in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question as well, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
This paper that Mr. Pettit left us, the RCWs and such, are we going to have some opportunity to discuss this?
Yeah, we will address that next Tuesday.
Okay.
In the opening statements when we have the public hearings. So yes, we will address that.
Okay, thank you very much.
But we can get that individually from you before then, correct?
Yeah, we will address that. I don't want to get to having a conversation today, but certainly the public hearings are according to the law.
Okay.
And we will make sure that we will address the specific RCWs in which how it dictates when the public hearings for the budget needs to be held. So a little bit different to what you heard today. So we will make sure we circle back, and that will be perhaps I will address that on the opening statements on the first public hearing that you will have on December 7th, and then we'll continue on as planned.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
If there's nothing else for the good of the order, this BoCC meeting is now adjourned, and we reconvene at 3 o'clock in about 11 minutes for a public hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.